All right. I think all the IT stuff seems to be in a row. We are now live on YouTube, and I'd like to welcome everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to the 6th Annual Plant Science Symposium at the University of Florida. For those of us who were unable to join us yesterday, my name is Josh Anderson, and I am the president of the Plant Science Council. Yesterday, some among you participated in our networking session, and other fellow students participated as student speakers. We have a fantastic lineup of invited speakers today. I'm very eager to hear from our Flash Talk competition as well. The competition winners for the Flash Talk will be announced later today at about 1:50 p.m. Eastern Time, right before our closing remarks. But before all of that, it's important to note that none of this would be possible were it not for the support of Corteva Agriscience. As mentioned yesterday, these symposia provide opportunities for the next generation of scientists to explore their interest in the plant sciences by inviting and hosting public and private experts on the topics of their choosing. And now I'm going to hand the floor over to Sudeep to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, Josh. Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Sudeep Kumar, and I'm the Vice President of Plant Science Council. Now I would like to introduce our first speaker. He is the Academic Relations Manager at Corteva Agriscience, Dr. Jason Rauscher. He has been our advocate and has helped us through the symposium planning process, and he is here today to help kick off our Plant Science Symposium. Dr. Rauscher is passionate about science and education with over 20 years in academia, research, secondary education, and industry. The perfect person to foster interactions between academia and the private sector. He currently manages the Plant Science Symposia series for Corteva, which supports a large network of graduate students, organized symposia at over 40 universities and research centers around the world each year. He also manages the New Frontiers in Applied Science Conference series and supports Corteva's intensive program for undergraduate and graduate students within R&D. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Jason Rauscher from Corteva Agriscience. Dr. Jason Rauscher.
Thank you so much, Sudeep and Josh. Can you hear me okay? Good, excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you again here on the second day of Florida's Symposium. As Sudeep mentioned, my name is Jason Rauscher. I am the R&D Academic Relations Manager at Corteva Agriscience, and I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk about our program, and especially as this is our first event of the year, so give a little kind of wrap up of how last year went and what we're looking forward to this year. So slides will advance here. There we go. So I know most of you who are connected here today probably are familiar with our program. For those of you who are not, this is a Corteva-sponsored global program of scientific symposia. And the key here is that, as you will notice, this is all run by graduate students. And so this is our model for supporting graduate education and empowering the next generation of scientists, which we think is so important. And we do this in four different ways is kind of the way we look at it. In addition to the learning that goes on, it's a critical component of this program that students are given the power to choose the speakers, choose topics of their interest, and really kind of drive their education through these symposia. But the networking is a critical component as well. So, we had a really nice networking session last night, and the opportunities for students to meet speakers, interact with them, and build their networks as they're growing their careers and looking towards the future. We all know that networking is probably one of the most important things that they can be working on to make sure that they have all of those opportunities that they're looking forward to in the future. And speaking of those opportunities, we recognize that on the career side, sometimes in academia the private sector is a little bit of a mystery. And so we think these symposia are a great forum by which public and private sector scientists, professionals can come together with students and really have an open conversation and give students an awareness of what these different careers are really like. And so and that's really one of the most important things. And one of the reasons why we provide a Corteva speaker for each of these events. Dave Bubeck was our speaker yesterday, so I hope you had the chance to catch his talk. And then finally, what you'll see on display here are all those skills that these student leaders bring to the table. So the leadership, the teamwork, the management. These are kind of those things that aren't necessarily in a graduate school curriculum, but are really important for their future careers, whether that's private sector or public sector. And so this is really a great way for students to build some of those skills and show them off in this networked, high profile symposium. So those are our objectives there. We've been around since 2008. Kind of the history, started at the University of Minnesota, and then, it was so successful that it's spread quickly. And it's really, we've targeted the elite graduate programs around the world, and it's clear that Florida is one of those most important ones on our list. And we have some amazing connections. We continue to have amazing connections between our company and the university. Especially now with Charlie Messina, one of my former colleagues who's now a faculty member at University of Florida. I'm really excited about the future of that. But this is obviously an international network worldwide. We're growing when we can. We have really good roots in Brazil, Latin America. We're growing in Asia. We had some new events last year, for example, in Indonesia. And we're exploring some others in Asia as well for the upcoming year. Africa is another place where we're hoping to grow in the future because we really think this can have an impact worldwide on the scientific community. Now, it did start off with a focus on plant breeding, and I know this symposium has that focus as well. But we've really diversified through the years, and it was, what started off in plant breeding really grew into more diverse plant sciences. And now, as you noticed, I've kind of haven't really mentioned it, but our branding has changed a little bit. We're shifting away from the Plant Sciences Symposia series and moving towards the Corteva Symposia series, mainly because we think we can be even broader than the plant sciences. And I'll show you in a moment an example of that. But yesterday and today, this is an example of exactly how this should work. Students coming together and really providing a really interesting group of speakers and a topic of interest to both their graduate program, students around the world, and faculty. So I think this is just a fantastic example. And the Plant Science Council really, they, I think, exemplify the leadership and these skills that we are really going for, and not just through the symposium series. I know the Plant Science Council is really active through the year in programming and developing, providing opportunities for students. And so, Josh and Sudip and all of the participants in the Plant Science Council, I'm really proud of what you do through the year. And this is just one example, the symposium series, but it's a great opportunity for me to really interact with all of you. And so I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. Normally, this is what we would be kind of looking like at the University of Florida, gathered together in a large lecture hall and interacting in person. But obviously that we were hoping to get back to a little bit more of that in-person component this year, but obviously things are beyond our control in many ways. And despite the fact that we've been virtual since for almost 2 years now, for the most part, I think that the virtual symposia have really had a big impact with really large numbers of participants around the world. And so I think the real challenge this year is yes, we will get back to in-person events. I hope to be in Gainesville next year, but we will we will be driving towards that. But I think the real challenge that's coming is how do we keep this virtual impact in the real world? You know, we want to get back to being able to meet together and network together and really face to face. But we don't want to lose the global impact of the things that we're doing. So that will be the real challenge facing students moving forward. How do we effectively do a hybrid event? And I dare say, I think many of you know that hybrid events are more difficult than in-person or virtual events in many ways. So I think that's a challenge facing a lot of conferences now, as well as these symposia. So I'm excited to see what students are going to come up with. But we had a great year last year. We had a record 39 events. It was really a successful year. We had some really innovative programs. As I mentioned, we're not just the plant sciences anymore. We had our first chemistry symposium, which was co-hosted by the University of Michigan and Yale University. It was a really exciting event that I think opened some eyes. And really, I think it's important that the agricultural industry kind of has a better visibility in some of these scientific disciplines that maybe they may be looking to pharma or other places. So that's one example there. We had some really innovative programs in Brazil last year. We had a seed-thon, which had competition between many teams across Brazil and solving problems in the seed industry. So my group of Brazilian students down there, I'm always love to see what new and interesting things they come up with. So I'm looking forward to a great year. Obviously, this is our kickoff, our first one here at the University of Florida. We have Missouri coming up in February, as well as Texas A&M. And I also want to point out we have an HBCU Ag conference at the same time, kind of overlapping with Texas a little bit there, but maybe many of you are adept at having your laptop and your tablet or something running at the same time and maybe attending two conferences at the same time. But I'm really excited about that. That's actually Florida A&M is going to participate in that. It's actually 4 different HBCUs: Tennessee State, Kentucky State, Alabama A&M, and Florida A&M. So it's a great group of students putting together an ag-oriented symposium in February. So keep your eyes open for that. Hopefully our webpage will be updating soon, but I will share links with organizers who can then send those out. And if you ever have any questions or you want to be connected, please feel free to reach out to me. Oh yeah, here's the advertisement, the brochure for that upcoming HBCU event. So last thing I want to leave you with here is my open innovation group at Corteva is really looking for opportunities to reach out and collaborate with the external academic community and small companies and things like that. So we do that in many different ways. We respond to requests for, we have opportunities to respond to requests for proposals, so collaboration on specific topics. We have crowdsourcing challenges, and we also have the opportunity to just submit a proposal or idea at any time. So this is the way to do it. If you have an idea and you think that we might be a good partner in that idea, so we have some really great opportunities for that protects your IP, and I think works well for everyone. A couple proposals out there that we have right now. We have February 15th submission deadline on a genome editing for broad spectrum disease resistance in crop plants. So if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. You get, if you were awarded this, that your proposal gets awarded, you get vector design and synthesis, scientific consultation, and you receive your gene edited seed. So exciting opportunity there. And then we have others, and if you have friends working in small molecules and in crop protection might be interesting, we have another one there. So check that out. That's at our open innovation page. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. There's my email address. Connect to me on LinkedIn. And I'm looking forward to our second day of the symposium here. And I will pass it back to the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rauscher, for your encouraging opening remarks. I would also like to thank Corteva AgriScience for their continuous support in academia and for grad students to organize all these kind of events. Now I'll hand the floor over to Nadia Mourad Silva, the Plant Science Council Outreach Chair, who will moderate for our next speaker. Nadia.